Hi everyone, welcome to Powerful Presentations. My name is River and I am the Graduate Assistant for the ADP Center for Learning Technologies. This is our schedule for today. First, we'll get into a quick introduction. Next, we'll talk about Google Slides and then a platform called Slideto. Then we'll get into some visual enhancements, and lastly, we'll talk about shortcuts. So first, let's talk about some elements that help make a presentation powerful. So the science says that a powerful presentation will include these three components. The first is tell a story. The second is to use visual appeal. And third would be to integrate interaction. So we're going to kind of be focusing on number 2 and number 3 today during this presentation. So the benefits of powerful presentations are that they keep your audience engaged. You want them paying attention. Next, you want to receive feedback. It would be nice to kind of incorporate their opinions and make it a conversation rather than just one person talking for 20, 30 minutes straight. Next, it's great to kind of create a presentation that's accommodating and inclusive because it can really benefit different types of learners like visual, auditory learners, as well as people with disabilities. And lastly, it promotes creativity. So why not? Why not use your imagination and make your presentation well-rounded and touching on a couple of different things. So quickly, I just wanted to mention the 10-20-30 rule. So what this is that your presentation roughly should be no more than 10 slides, no more than 20 minutes of talking time, and lastly, no smaller than 30 size 30 font. And this is such a rough general outline because this presentation, for example, it's a little bit more technical. There's going to be a lot more than 10 slides. Generally, I think the 20-minute rule is pretty good depending on your subject, but also the size 30 font is relative because fonts can differ. Some can be smaller. You might need them to be even larger than 30 or smaller. So I think these are just good general guidelines to keep in mind. And you want to be able to kind of make sure that your presentations are concise, your font size is readable, and that you kind of limit your talking time so you don't lose your audience. So we're going to talk about Google Slides and the basics because this is the platform that all the programs that I'm going to be mentioning today are going to be based off of. So for those of you who don't know what Google Slides is, it's a cloud-based presentation application. It's compatible with Google Drive, which is kind of the program that holds all of these different Google programs. It is iOS and Android app available. And essentially what you can do with Google Slides is, you can build and create presentations by yourself, but you can also utilize the collaboration feature and work with others. You can share the presentations. You can work on editing them together, and you can share it easily with using links as well as maybe embedding it to Google Sites. However, please note that there are some limitations with Google Slides and your Montclair Gmail. So if you create anything, any kind of docs, slides, Google Sites with your Montclair email or under that account, it can be limited. You may not be able to share it outside of the Montclair community. So if this is something personal that you want to use, just keep that in mind. So the first step would be to log into your account and click these 9 dots at the top right over here. And you're going to go and select Slides. This is what the icon looks like. It's going to bring you to this page where you can either choose to start completely from scratch or you can choose from the template gallery. And then you're going to create your presentation, but once you're done creating the presentation, it's just as easy as editing a document. You're going to want to probably export it. So you're going to either present it or you can share it, like I mentioned, with an invitation to edit or view with a link. All right, next we're going to discuss Slido. So this video is pretty good at explaining what Slido exactly is.
Are you a speaker, a trainer, or a manager who runs meetings? Then you have to use Slido. Slido is the ultimate Q&A and live polling platform that creates a conversation between you and your audience. If you want to make your presentation truly exceptional, you have to engage your attendees, and Slido does that for you. Polls are a great way to get your crowd involved, whether you want to find out how they feel, collect feedback, or simply break the ice. With Slido quizzes, you make learning fun, and you can find out how much your audience has learned. Do you have people in your audience who are scared to speak up? With Slido questions, they too have a voice. And you can even see which questions are the most important using upvotes. Being a presenter is tough enough. Slido integrates with Google Slides, so everything is together in one place. Oh, and all the data you've collected, it's safely stored. So you can export it, analyze it, and use it to make your presentations even better. So that's it. Slido's intuitive, easy, and your audience does not have to download anything. Try it yourself and make your presentations more conversational and interactive with Slido.
Okay, so just a couple of points. You can create live polls and have your audience interact. There's different options like multiple choice, ratings, open text. You can do correct or incorrect answers, hide the right answer, and then after everyone answers, you can share what the correct answer was. There's also, like she mentioned in the video, an audience Q&A. So in live time, participants can ask any kind of question. People can upvote it to see which question is the most popular. And then lastly, you can export all of the data that you have collected from the Slido polls, and you can either view them in infographics through the home page of Slido, or you can export the results to your computer or Google Drive, which is also great. So you can pull the data from your presentation. However, again, please note that you cannot use Slido because it's an extension. You can't integrate it with your presentation if you're logged into your Montclair Gmail. So you would have to use a personal email that's not affiliated with Montclair to be able to utilize these features. Okay, next we're going to talk about some visual enhancements. So a couple resources can come from templates. They're really great, very creative slideshow templates that are compatible with both Google Slides and PowerPoint. And actually, it is what this presentation was created with. So I think I used Slides Go for this presentation, but let me just show you guys what it looks like. So when you go to the website, you're going to see there's a bunch of different themes popping up. And you can even search, and you select whichever one that you like this. And then there's going to be a button that says Google Slides, and you're going to download it, and it's going to integrate it right into your Google Slides and open up for you on its own. But what's really great about it is that it gives you so many different creative options, right? So these are a part of the template. These are slides that I didn't use because I didn't think I needed them, but you can go in and edit these and create different diagrams and so much more. So, and it's super user-friendly and easy to use. And it also gives you a color theme, and they're just really great, very, very great resources. So these three are just a couple. I'm sure there's more out there, but I use Slides Go and Slides Carnival. I'm not too familiar with Slides Mania, but I'm pretty sure it's very similar to the previous two. So these templates are really nice if you don't want to, use something that's generic from the Google templates, because they can get a little bit boring. Next is images. So you want to make sure, remember when we mentioned that the science says creating a slideshow that's visually appealing is what's going to draw your audience in and make it more powerful. So Unsplash and Pexels are two resources, again, they're free, where you can pull high resolution images to enhance your presentation. So let me show you what one of them looks like. So this is Unsplash, and there's beautiful, really nice pictures that are great quality, and it definitely makes your presentation look much more professional, more serious. And again, there's different themes, and also you can search with the search bar over here too. Additionally, you can use this explore button on the bottom right over here. And with this, you can type and say, let's say I want a picture of an apple. I'm gonna type that and then press images, and it's gonna, all of these pictures are gonna pop up. You can also do this when you just go to google.com and images. You can just, drag a picture from your desktop, from there to your desktop, and then from your desktop to the presentation. But this definitely eliminates all of that time and extra work. It's just a little bit quicker. You can also add pictures by using the insert feature over here. So if you press insert and then hover over image, you can see that you can upload from the computer, search the web, you can use a URL. If you have pictures from your computer or some embedded in your Google Drive, you can pull from there, or you could even take a picture right now. So those are also options. And lastly, I think that GIFs are also a really great feature to use. So this little animated cartoon over here, I think I had just typed in Google Images, some GIFs, like for instance, books GIF, brain GIF, or any other, whatever you want to express, type that in and press the images button, and it'll pop up, and you just save it onto your computer and then paste it over here, or upload it over here. So these are also different ways to kind of break up your presentation and make it a little bit less plain. So those are some picture resources. And then two more visual enhancements. So this is definitely, these are two different platforms that you can use other than Google Slides. They're a little bit more intricate, a little bit less user-friendly to use, but they do create really nice results in the end if you are able to kind of manage the website. So let me just show you guys an example. The first one is Prezi, and you can see how it's definitely a little bit more engaging and visually appealing than just a plain PowerPoint or Google Slides. So it kind of takes you from one section to the other. So this was just an example that I had found online, but this is the first page. It shows you all the different topics. So let's just follow through. So as you click, it brings you through all of these different sections, but you can see it moving, which again could be much more appealing and easy to grasp for visual learners. It kind of shows exactly when you're moving on to the next section. So that's Prezi. And then another resource is called Genially, and this is just another example as well. So this is the beginning of the presentation. And then as we flip through, you could see that it's a lot more visually appealing and more animated, I guess. But it is really nice. And it's a little bit more unique and creative. So that is just another example of a visual enhancement. Okay, so next we're going to talk about shortcuts, right? So these are a couple of helpful tips and tricks. And first we'll talk about keyboard shortcuts. So when you're in Google Slides, one function that is really helpful to get very familiar with would be using the copy and paste function. So instead of just highlighting something, right-clicking, and then cutting or copying, and then going over there, and then again right-clicking and pasting, you can cut down this time by so much if you just learn how to use the keyboard shortcuts. So if you want to copy something, all you're going to do is highlight it and press Command C, and then you're going to paste it by pressing Command V. So I forgot to mention, if you're an Apple user, you're going to substitute Command for Control, and if you are a PC user, you're going to be using Control. So I might be using those two interchangeably. So yeah, Control V is what pastes, and then Control C is what copies. If you are pulling something from a different page, so let's say Google, we're going to go there and let's search up COVID updates. Let's say I want to copy this text over here. Oop, not all of that. Okay, we're going to copy this text here, and I want to paste it into my document. If I was to paste it regularly, it's going to show the highlight. It's clearly different font and different color. So I'm going to take that back, and all I have to do when I'm doing my Command V, all you have to do is add a shift, and it keeps it in the same format, which is a really great tool, and it saves you so much time. And lastly, with the whole copy and paste feature, one thing that I think has saved me so much time, it's super simple, but it's great. If you want to if you know that this whole section is what you need to copy, or let's say I need to copy this title section, all you have to do is press Control D, and it creates the same one. It just duplicates it for you. So instead of doing Control C and then Control V, all you have to do is highlight it and press Control D, and it does the copy and paste all in one. Another keyboard shortcut would be Control A. So let's say I'm clicked over here and I press Control A, it highlights everything. Let's say I had done something that, I messed up, I deleted it and I want it back. All you have to do is press Command Z, and it brings it back for you. A couple of more shortcuts that are really helpful is, let's say you're moving something in Google Slides, and let's say this is just too much, it's moving way too fast, or it's taking up too much space when it moves. So if I wanted to move 1 pixel by 1 pixel in smaller increments, all you have to do is press Shift while you're moving with your arrow keys, and it moves in much smaller increments. Another thing that's helpful is if you need to increase or decrease a font without having to highlight it and then, change it over here, all you can do is highlight it and then press Control, Shift, and then the greater than or the less than sign. And that's also saved me a lot of time as well. And lastly, if you need to find a certain word in your presentation, you can press Control F and then type in that word, and it's going to show you exactly where it is in the document. And when you press these arrows, it's going to go through them one by one. Okay, a couple of other helpful tips before we close. There are also other helpful resources or just quick shortcuts that you can do when creating a presentation. If you need to export it, you can actually take this presentation right now and press File, and then you're going to press, where is it? Download. And when you hover over it, you could see that there's PowerPoint, PDF, you can do a JPEG, you can do a Word document, and it's going to export it all for you in whatever format you would like it to. Another helpful tool is, if you mess up and you need to go back to a certain version, you can actually click this where it says last edit was seconds ago over here, and it's going to show you all of the times that you edited, and you can actually click and go back to a specific version of it. So this is the current version right now, and let's say, I wanted to go back to the version that I was working on this morning. If I press that, it's going to bring it back over there. So, and if you press restore this version, that's what's going to bring it back to the first original version. And you can actually even name them. you can change the name of each version. All right. No, I'm gonna go back. Okay, and then I believe the last point was about creating a new PowerPoint. So if you need a shortcut just to be able to, you want to create a new presentation and you don't want to have to go log into slides and go through all of those hurdles, all you have to do is press slides or type in slides.new in your search bar, and it's going to create a whole new untitled presentation for you from scratch. And I believe the same thing is available if you were to press doc or type in docs.new in your search bar, and it's going to create a new Google Doc for you. Okay. So that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions, you could feel free to reach out to us and contact us. Thank you so much for joining, and I hope you have a great day.